I've been listening to you, Percy, for over 40 years. Your music, innovator on the fretless bass, and I want to thank you for coming on.
Okay. You're
So
welcome. Thanks for asking. I'm sorry about the delay. I'd hooked
that's
up
okay,
a USB
right?
external sound card.
Okay,
Sounds better than the internal one. And I hadn't got it switched in for Zoom.
okay,
That's why I was
that's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm glad to see you on, and the voice, I hear it. So
okay.
I'm curious to know how you got interested in playing bass and how all this music started for you.
Well, it started in the early 60s. I grew up in Wales, a rural part of excuse me, a rural part of Wales. And when I was in my teens, I started going to local dances, and it was around the time that sort of rock and roll was starting to replace dance bands.
Right.
And there was a band from Hereford that used to play in the area called the Four Aces. And another example was Denny Lane and the Diplomats.
All right.
Lane later played with Paul McCartney and some others. And for some reason, I sort of got intrigued by the bass. I would always watch and listen to the bass player. And there was just something about bass that got me sort of intrigued.
Hmm.
And after a while, I thought, wow, I'd like to have a go at this.
Hmm. Well, your sound is so distinct. I mean, I know right away you're playing. It's like you have such a distinct sound and tone,
Oh,
and
good. I'm happy to hear that because
oh, it's
I think
obvious.
that's what everybody strives to get.
So, and then you went from bass. How did you get involved with the fretless bass? Because I mean, you're really known for that. I mean, all those great
Well,
records you played on.
I started it with on Freddie bass, and my first bass was Vox Clubman. There was a local guy who was selling it for 10 quid, which I don't know,
Okay.
$16. This is like 1962 or something.
Hmm.
And I took my mother into coming up with 10 quid and bought the bass. And that's what I sort of started learning to play on. I mean, at that point, I couldn't play anything.
Hmm.
And it was a crappy bass with plastic machine heads.
That's
And
funny. Well, you got to
so,
start somewhere.
yeah, so I just got stuck in and really learning by listening to records. Um, because back then in that area, there were no, well, there were music teachers. You could find someone who could give you piano lessons,
Yeah.
like playing classical music or, um, but there was no bass teachers or jazz schools or anything like that. And my mother played piano and organ
Okay.
at
Hmm.
church services, weddings, and so on. So she gave me some rudimentary piano lessons. But in terms of bass, it was pretty much learning by rote. I just had to listen to records and try and emulate what the guy on the record was
Hmm.
doing. Um, and then after the first thing that happened with the clubbing was that the machine had started snapping off.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
So I bought some brass clock keys and soldered those on. And eventually the whole bass fell apart. So I then
Oh
went
my
out
God.
an old Gretsch. I can't remember the model. It was big semi-acoustic body, extra long scale. And there was a spike you could put in the ends playing upright. So I used, at that point, I was in a band called the Liverpool Scene. So I was using it in that band. But as time was going along, I was listening to a lot of upright bass players.
Okay.
Um,
Was it in the jazz world where you listened to
yeah,
jazz?
um, Charles Mingus was probably my favorite, although Scott LaFaro uh, and actually a British bass player called Danny Thompson.
Oh, he just
just,
passed away.
just recently, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was fantastic. Yeah.
So I remember going to Hereford with some friends. Hereford was across the border in England, and it was sort of the nearest
Hmm.
city to where we lived. And Alexis Corner
Okay.
was playing there, and yeah, Danny Thompson, Terry Cox is the rhythm section.
Oh,
It's
that
just
must have been
weird.
something.
And they were playing this sort of hybrid of folk, blues, and jazz. I mean,
Hmm.
the rhythm section was very syncopated, like jazzy, you know.
Right.
And you know, just listening to this is some cool stuff, you know. So that made an impression on me.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that probably that hearing those guys is what sort of moved me to listening to more jazz. You know, like as I said,
Right.
Mingus and others. Yeah. So, but I'm playing electric bass, so an obvious consideration was maybe I should get a fretless.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was 1974. I started playing with Brand X,
Okay.
and we had just got our first publishing advance. It was 200 quid,
Oh my gosh. That's
and
okay. Yeah.
I remember opening the Melody Maker, which was the local music. Well, there were several, but it was probably the most popular music paper. Looking at the ads in the back, and there's a guy in North London selling a Fender Precision Fretless, 200
Oh, isn't
quid.
that something?
So
Oh boy, if that's not fate.
yeah, it was a bit cosmic, as they say.
That is something.
So I went up to North London to see the guy and looked at it. In good shape, with some like looked like Guinness stains on it. Um, it was in good nick, so I bought the bass.
Hmm.
Published. I seem to remember Goodsall bought a fur coat with his advance. Anyway, I bought the bass, and even at that point, not even not knowing if I'd be able to play it, you know. So I
Hmm.
went home, and started playing the thing, and uh, quite quickly I realized, wow, this is I can really express myself on this thing, even though you know I had to brush up on intonation and
Right.
get used to the action and the feel of a solid body bass, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, very quickly I sort of was discovering things that I could express that I couldn't do on a fretted bass. So I just got stuck in and played the thing and played the thing. And I had, I think, 6 or 7 weeks between buying the bass and
Hmm.
doing the first Brand X recording.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so I had like 6 or 7 weeks to get it together. So I used it on unorthodox behavior.
Well, I have that record right here.
Right, that one, yeah.
Oh, great record.
So that was
Great
that
record.
that Fender fretless precision.
I would put you guys up there with Return to Forever, Weather Report. You guys, I mean, you guys were really amazing. How was it like playing with Phil Collins back then?
It was very good. The original drummer in Brand X was John Dillon, who was actually very, very good
Hmm.
sort of groove in the pocket player. Um, but as time went along, we started realizing we wanted to. We were hearing what was coming out of the US, like what
Hmm.
Miles Davis was doing, the early Weather Report lineup,
Right.
and we were all liking that stuff. Tony Williams,
Oh, yeah, of
and
course.
we decided, you know, we'd like to move in that direction. So the result of that was we needed a different kind of drummer.
Hmm.
So and at this point we'd got to deal with Island Records sort of miraculously. I don't know
Oh, okay.
how that. Anyway,
Hmm.
we were rehearsing at their place and stuck for a drummer, and Bill Bruford came down and played, and we offered him the gig. He turned it down.
Oh,
Um, think he said he didn't want to spread himself too thin. He was playing in other projects, so he turned it down. And Danny Wilding, who was an A&R man at Ireland, said, "There's this guy that plays with Genesis. He's very good. You know, they can get him down."
Hmm.
And at that point, I'd heard of Genesis. I didn't really know much about them. Uh, so this guy came down. It was Phil Collins. You know,
Yeah.
he and we liked him, and he liked us, so he joined the band.
Hmm.
Um,
I was wondering how that happened because I didn't know if he was I didn't know. I thought maybe he was one of the original members of the band. I guess not. You were, right? One of the original
the
members?
original, well, the original members were myself, John Goodsall, Robin Lumley, Pete Bonus,
Okay.
another guitar player, Phil Spinelli, and John
Hmm.
Dillon.
Oh, okay.
So we did. It's kind of a long, convoluted story, but the very first record we did for Ireland before Unorthodox Behavior was with vocals, and it was with that lineup.
Okay. Huh.
Uh, and it sounded like a sort of below average white band kind of thing, you know,
Ah.
funky with vocals. And we actually didn't like it very much.
Hmm.
So it never came out. We asked Chris Blackwell if we could do another record instrumental, and he agreed. Um, and then Phil came in. Um, Pete Bonus, Phil Spinelli, and John Dillon left, and Phil came in. Um, then I think it was at Phil's sort of instigation we moved to Charisma. We moved to another label.
Right. I wouldn't know them. Right.
Actually, I'm sorry, we
Good, good.
recorded Unorthodox Behavior for Ireland,
Oh,
and uh, I think Genesis were already on Charisma, so Phil kind of engineered a move to Charisma. So the record came out on Charisma, um, but Charisma never paid Ireland for the recording costs.
oh
So
man.
several years later, we're playing a gig in London, and we're in the band room, we're tuning up, like getting ready to
Right.
gig, and this guy walks into the band room, an older guy with a blazer with a badge on it, says Percy Jones. I said, and he hands me these papers. John Goodsall. That's Goodsall. Goodsall's like,
Oh man.
what the heck is this? You know? So it's a subpoena.
Holy smoke.
Subpoenas to go to court. Ireland is suing us.
Right before the show.
Yeah, I mean, minutes before we go to
Oh
court,
man.
I think it was the venue, and that was the.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, someone from the management was there and said, they grabbed the paper and said, don't worry about it, go out and play.
Yeah,
And we never heard any more about it. So Charisma obviously settled with.
I guess. Wow.
I don't know the whole story, but yeah, getting subpoenaed right before you do a gig is sort of interesting.
I was in high school and I knew Genesis 1980, and then friends said you got to check out Brand X. And as I said, I was showing this is the record, the first record I bought, and starting off with Nuclear Burn. I mean, you can't start off any better than that.
Well,
How,
those tunes on that record were sort of co-written by everybody. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Where I'd have an idea, not enough for a complete tune, but an idea.
hmm.
Good soul would have an idea. We'd cobble things together to make completed pieces. You know, so um, there's a lot of examples of that on that record.
Now, how long did it take you to record this in the studio? To just go fast, slow? What was the
Um, I can't remember.
I mean,
Uh, so
was
long
there a
ago.
lot of rehearsals?
We
Bef-
rehearsed a lot back then.
Sounds it.
Yeah, I mean that was fortuitous because Ireland gave us a rehearsal room. We could go in almost whenever we liked and just play. You know,
Hmm.
so that was a big help. So it was well rehearsed. And I think it didn't take long to record.
Hmm.
You know, we didn't have a huge budget, a band like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And you toured mostly in Europe at that time when you had
well,
Phil
early on,
Collins
it,
in the band?
it was just one nighters in the UK.
Okay.
You know, we'd have a gig in Manchester or somewhere. We'd drive up to Manchester,
Hmm.
back to London, or um, there were several sort of pub gigs around in London, so we played those. Um, yeah, fairly low key gigs. Um,
You're lucky you had Phil
People are happy.
Collins available in between, playing for Genesis. I mean, must have been a lot of pressure for him to play in that band, right? To get free.
Yeah, well, later on it became a problem. Um, you know, we started getting offers of tours, including
Hmm.
the US, and he was unavailable because he was busy with Genesis. And um, he actually said to me at one point, he said, "If you guys can hang on for a couple of years,
Hmm.
you know, I might do this full time, you know, instead of
Ah,
Genesis." And I just said, you know, you can't expect all these guys to wait
yeah.
2 years that you might, you know. So anyway, we ended up, um, I ended up calling Alfonso Johnson, who was in Los
Oh, I
Angeles.
know. I've heard of him. Yeah.
He's a very good bass player. And I asked him, because we couldn't find anybody in England, you know.
Hmm.
So I called him up and asked him, "Do you know of any drummers over there?" So he said, "There's this guy in New York, Kenwood Denard."
Oh, fantastic drummer.
So I got in touch with Kenwood, and he agreed to do it, really not knowing much about us. And then
Hmm.
I came over by myself 2 weeks before a tour and spent a couple of weeks with Kenwood,
Hmm.
just trying to show him as much as I could for the arrangements of the parts. And then the rest of the band came over, and we had another quick rehearsal with everybody, and then went out on the road. That
Hmm.
was like 1976, I think.
Okay. Well, I remember seeing you guys at the Beacon Theater, I believe, with Morris Burt. Oh, it
Oh,
was one
yeah,
of the top 10 shows of all time. I mean, that was a real influence on me, and this record also, Moroccan Roll.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, I love this picture too. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
fantastic photo. But you guys were on fire that night, and Kenwood really was. There was no slouch there. I mean, even taking Phil Collins' place, who at that time was just playing at his peak. So you
Oh,
guys toured at that time with Morris, that lineup?
yeah. Mostly over here, actually.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, the first couple of gigs, there were people in the audience shouting, "Where's Phil? Where's Phil?"
Yeah.
So Kenwood got a T-shirt made up, "Where's Phil?" written on it.
Oh, that's
And
great.
all that stuff soon went away. I mean, you know, his playing was so good that,
Mm.
you know, the "Where's Phil" stuff disappeared.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
But
fantastic.
Morris Burt was great. He
Oh, he was one of my favorite percussionists of all time.
used to play on the back of my head.
How about that? That's funny.
I'd be boxed in between Kenwood and his percussion rig, and you know, sometimes be quite cramped and be playing, and I'd get this, you know, this flam on the back of my head.
He had an elaborate rig. I mean, he had
Yeah,
all types
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
So how were the audiences back then? Were they receptive after that? The
yeah,
Phil, after they, I
yeah,
imagine. I know when I was at the show, they were going wild.
yeah. It's very enthusiastic. Yeah, for the
So,
most part.
and here's another record that I have, Livestock. I mean
Right.
that's from that same period, I
Yeah,
believe. So you guys
yeah,
kept going in that 70s period, a couple more records after that before it like disbanded for a while.
yeah. It's um, yeah, unorthodox rock and roll livestock all seem to go fairly well. I mean, the records seem to be well received. You know, we were happy with them. And it got the point later on where we were getting pressure to make the music more accessible.
Okay.
I guess they wanted to sell more records or whatever. And
Mm.
I sort of pushed back against that. And my point of view was that I thought that if we did that, we probably wouldn't get a bigger audience. We'd just lose the audience we already had.
Right.
So I sort of put my foot down, and so it ended up with two different lineups. So
Oh, okay.
John Giblin came in to play bass on the, what do you call it, the more commercial stuff. And then actually by this time, Mike Clark had been playing drums with us.
Oh, he's a really good drummer
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So and we recorded in shifts.
Oh,
There
okay.
was the day band, which was Phil, Lumley, John Giblin, John. And then the night band was me, and Peter Robinson, Mike Clark,
Hmm.
and John. And John somehow managed to play in both.
Yeah, oh, that's something.
But the result was kind of schizophrenic. You can hear these two different
Yeah.
approaches.
Yeah, that can be tough, especially if you're trying to play the two different bands. Was it similar type of music, fusion? Was it different sound?
Well, you see, I mean, the stuff I was doing, it was a different sound to unorthodox behavior. It was different personnel.
Hmm.
The the music is always the sum of its parts. So if you change personnel, the the music is
Right, right. It
not still
does.
happy with it. I'm happy for most
Oh, they're
most of the
great.
we did, but it's different.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah, so I imagine when that happens, when you have a different lineup like that, it's never gonna be the same.
right.
You had Phil back for a little bit, right? Back in the band, in like '79, I saw something like Top Gear. You did one more record, right? Product with Phil.
Two,
Oh, two. Okay.
Do They Hurt?
Okay.
Both those records were two lineups.
Hmm.
And after that, it just everything fell apart
Yeah, I can just.
and pretty much disbanded at that point.
Well, you have such a legacy with those records. I mean, they're amazing. Now, I want to talk to you about Brian Eno because I have this record right here and the other one here, my two favorite Eno records. You're on. Wow, really innovative stuff. How did you get involved with Brian Eno?
Well, Robin Lumley and Jack Lancaster
I know
um,
him too.
did a couple of. Yeah, he passed away just very recently, actually.
Hmm.
Um, did a couple of sort of concept albums, and one of them was called Peter and the Wolf, and they used the sort of Brand X core members to play
Hmm.
on it. And then they had guests come in. There's Gary Moore, um, John Heisman, Cozy
I'm.
Pup,
Yeah, it's an all-star
Eno.
lineup there.
Yeah, Eno did something, and apparently he he liked the rhythm section. He asked who's the rhythm section on this. So they told him, and then he ended up calling me and Phil
Hmm.
to come in to work on his stuff. So that's how we got involved with him.
It's
So
really great.
enjoyable
Uh,
stuff.
Another Green World is a fantastic record. I mean, you
Well,
guys,
he doesn't work like most players. Very
no, no.
experimental. And, I think he knows how to get the best out of someone.
Hmm.
'Cause he wouldn't crap your style. I mean, he would let you play the way you like to play. and then he'd guide you. Like he'd say,
Ah,
you do a take and then listen back, and he'd say, there's two bars there. Why don't you repeat them? He'd give you some guidelines,
hmm.
but he wouldn't get into detail like you know what notes you should play or anything. So he gave you probably everybody a lot of freedom, but he knew how to channel it to get what he wanted. Uh,
Well, it certainly reflects.
so,
It's sort of like what David Bowie did. He would let people, he had an idea what he wanted, but he would let the musicians play what they felt.
right, right.
And you guys, you and Phil were tight, and you always played so tight together.
Yeah, well, Phil was, yeah, he had a good sense of space. I mean, he had a sense of when to play, when to get busy, and when to leave
Hmm.
space. Just uh,
So when did you move to New York? What year was that?
79.
Oh, okay.
So it's been
Uh,
quite a long time.
yeah. And you played in this band Stone Tiger. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was soon after I moved here. Well, the first band I got involved in when I moved here was called Noise or Us,
Hmm.
um, which was actually quite a lot of fun. It was like a sort of punk jazz
Ah, okay.
section with vocalists. We played quite a lot at like CBGBs and some other places. Um, and then Toys R Us threatened to sue them
Hmm.
to change the name from Noise R Us to Paranoise or something.
That's funny. Oh,
And then I'd also got Mike Clark had also moved to New York from San Francisco. And then someone suggested this guy, Bill Frisell.
oh, he's fantastic.
Really liked his playing. So we had a trio for a while.
Hmm.
Initially, actually, it was me, Bill, and Dougie Bowen was the drummer. And then later on, Mike Clark played drums. So we played around a bit, but um, couldn't really get it rolling. I don't know.
Hmm.
I thought it was a good band. But,
Well, that was a big scene in New York back then. That was that really 81, 80, 82 was really happening in New York.
yeah,
It still
well, there were
is, but not that
it's not
particular time period.
it's not the way it was back then.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Now, you did a lot of session work too. I mean, I see all the people you played with, Kate Bush, David Sylvian, uh, Steve
yeah,
Hackett,
Kate
right?
Bush, no,
No? I
never
thought
played.
maybe you did.
No, it's written a lot, uh,
Yeah,
but
that's something. I
I
don't know why
think
that would be written like that. I tried to look for something you were on with Kate Bush. I couldn't find
seen it
it.
a
So,
lot and written a lot, and I'm often having to try and clear that up. I've never even met Kate Bush, so I
isn't
think
that something?
where the confusion comes is John Giblin did stuff with it,
Oh, okay.
and he was in Brand X on those last two records.
Hmm.
So that's probably where the confusion
No
is.
wonder. Any
Yeah.
any recording sessions stand out in that period, or that you can?
Um, well, the stuff that you mentioned, those are definitely favorites.
Hmm.
Um,
David Sylvian you played with?
yeah,
He was great. I loved his music.
yeah. I mean, just maybe a couple of tracks or something. Um, the Italian band Nova, that's good memories of that. It's called
Hmm.
Vimani, I think, the record.
Right. I don't know them.
Tiger, Big Jim Sullivan,
Hmm. So you did.
basically Richard Barbieri.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Um, he was in Porcupine Tree.
Oh yeah, right.
Japan, remember the band Japan
Oh
from
yeah. Yep. So they called you. Were these sessions in like New York, or were they all over the place in that time?
Well, all the Eno stuff was in London.
Right.
David Sylvian was in London.
Hmm.
Big Jim Sullivan stuff was in London. Um, well, Richard Barbieri, it's much more recent. I do that
Okay.
stuff here, actually.
I got to check.
Internet, you can send tracks backwards and forwards.
Hmm.
Although I sort of miss the days when you're in real time with a drummer. You're in the same
Yeah.
tracking together.
Oh, yeah. That's the big difference, especially in the
Yeah,
studio with the drummer, not doing something, with on the computer. It's just not the same.
right.
The vibe isn't there
You
as
don't have a
much.
two-way um,
Yeah.
communication going on. Yeah.
What about this band Tunnels? You were in that band for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Good, some good records there, really good.
Well, that came about. I went through a period in the 80s where there was nothing going on.
Hmm.
So I remember going to Sam Ash and buying because the MIDI thing was starting up. I remember going to Sam Ash and buying a really cheap Roland sequencer.
Hmm.
And as I was walking out, I ran into Elliot Sharp.
Oh, I know him.
Um, he was one of the first people I met when I moved to New York. And he said, "Hey, I'm curating these gigs at the kitchen. Do you want to do one?" And he looked at the box. He realized what was in the box. He said, "You could use all that stuff if you want."
Oh, that's great.
So I programmed like 45 minutes worth of music.
Hmm.
Um, I had a sequencer, a four-track cassette player, drum machine, and so it was like a one-man thing. So I did the gig at the kitchen with his stuff, and it went okay. And then I started getting other gigs, like at the Knitting Factory and other places. So I did that for a while, but started to really miss playing with other people.
Yeah.
And I taught briefly at Drummers Collective. That's where I met Frank Katz, the drummer.
Oh, he's very good too.
Yeah.
Very good.
Um, and he did some playing with the version of Brand X we had later on as a trio.
Oh, okay.
So he was on board, and then we got Mark Wagnon, who was a MIDI vibes player, got him in. So it was essentially a trio. So uh, we did some gigging around, I think 4 or 5 records.
I know. I see that. That was very unique having an electric vibraphone player.
Yeah,
That was very unique.
yeah. Except it used to break a lot.
Oh, did it? Oh, you have to travel with it, and uh, they
Yeah,
wouldn't handle it good.
I don't know. It was be in the middle of a gig, and then suddenly it stopped hearing the cat.
Oh man.
Look over and see Mark like pushing buttons. And he's going, bass solo.
Bass
So,
solo for 20 minutes, right? I can't get nothing to work.
so,
Oh man.
but yeah, I mean, we did about, I think it was 4 or 5 records. And then by the early 2000s, I just felt it had kind of plateaued. It wasn't going any further. So it disbanded it.
Mm. Now you Grand X came back again to play uh, for 2016, what to 2021, and then also what in the 90s, right? Did you reform in the 90s for a little bit too, Grand X?
Uh, yeah, yeah, we went out as a trio. And we did another record called Excommunication.
Right.
Um, well, I got contacted by a record company called Ozone to do initially like my own record. So I decided to use Frank Katz. because I already had a rapport with him, and I approached Bill Connors to play
Okay.
guitar. He turned it down,
Hmm.
so we scratching our head about guitar players, and somebody said, "Well, there's Goodsall. What's Goodsall doing?" Yeah. So I thought, "Oh, okay, well." So I called Goodsall, who was in Los Angeles at that
Hmm.
point. Uh, he wasn't doing anything, so he came in. So we did the record. Um, and it was quite stressful because it was a really low budget
Hmm.
and a little studio in Brooklyn.
Right.
So we did the record, and I had no intention of calling it Brand X.
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted to move on,
Right.
But the record company guys just insisted, no, you should call it Brand X. It'll sell more records, They bent my ear for an hour about,
Yeah.
that. Eventually sort of relented, gave in, and so it came out under Brand X.
Hmm.
So we did some touring on and off as a trio, and then late '90s we did a final record called Manifest Destiny,
Okay.
which was John, myself, Frank, and Mark Wagner played on a couple of tracks.
Hmm.
David Henschel uh, engineered it. Actually, very good. He's a very good
I have to
engineer.
check that. Yeah, I'm sure.
It never. I thought it was a good record. Again, it was very different to earlier stuff.
Hmm.
You know, same reasoning, some of its parts, and so on. I thought it was a decent record, but it never did anything. Nobody
Oh.
talks about it. Nobody, well, people haven't.
Oh. Well, you got your music is ahead of your time, so some people have to catch up to this.
Sometimes
I think so. I really do. That's your music is. It's timeless stuff.
there's a few people who ask me about Stone Tiger, saying, "Oh,
Hmm.
Bill went on to become quite famous,
Yeah.
Um, and a few people said to me, "Oh, have you got any tapes?
Yeah, how about that?
90 tracks."
So I'm very
There was,
sad
there was,
about the
there
John
was no
Goodsall.
interest at the time,
But
unfortunately.
now, I mean, is there music out now, Stone Tiger, as far as new music coming out from that, as far as maybe some live recordings from that period?
Yeah, there's a guy he's actually working on a film about Brandeis.
Oh, really?
Um,
Huh.
he's still working on it, so I don't know when it'll come out.
Okay.
Um, but also we found a live recording from '77,
Hmm.
um, which fairly, I mean, for a live recording, the quality is actually not bad at all.
Hmm.
And I worked on it, cleaned it up, and it's in terms of fidelity, it's better than any of those bootlegs I've heard out there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So that's it.
I love the Peel sessions. I mean,
Yeah, they were
that is
good.
just intense. You
The
guys
guy,
really, you
the
guys
guy at
really,
that studio was actually very good. I don't remember his name. The engineer that did
right,
all that stuff. He was because that was a little studio in North London.
right.
And he got a very good sound.
Well, if you were with John Peel, you were in, at that time. He was the man. I
Well,
mean,
he years before that in the '60s, late '60s, I was living in Liverpool, and I was playing in a band called the Liverpool Scene.
hmm,
It's like poetry and music, rock and roll all mixed up. Uh, he loved that band, John Peel. He used to
oh,
promote it, play the records on his radio program. Um, he produced the first record that we did with that band.
oh, we did. Okay.
Well, he lay down under the piano and he slept through the whole because we recorded it and mixed it in a day.
Oh my gosh. It's funny.
Yeah, a four track, where the bass and the drums are on the same track. The reverb system was concrete pipes under the floor
Hmm.
with speakers and microphones. And four track was the sort of standard of.
Yeah, I'm sure it was back
Yeah.
then. Yeah,
So John Peel produced it. So at least we had his name on the record because he was well known.
he was. I
But
mean,
he actually didn't do anything. He slept through most of it.
oh, that's funny. So before I talk to you about your equipment and we want to hear about, what about this new band you're working with? Is it MJ12? Are you still working with that group?
Yeah, I'm still doing that actually. Yeah, yeah,
So just I've listened to a few of the songs. It's got really a great jazz vibe, and then you've got a lot of changes, stops, all types of time signatures. I mean,
yeah,
talk about that a little bit. It's a really great band.
yeah. Um, we're kind of having the same problem that Stone Tiger had.
Hmm,
Um, well, the way that came about it's much more recent. Steve Moses, the drummer,
right.
actually met him a long time ago when because he played in Noise R Us as
Oh,
well.
okay. Oh, all right.
So I initially met him, and about 10 years ago, he got in touch and he said, "Let's do some like improv gigs."
Hmm.
So he'd get a gig in some dive bar in Brooklyn. So the two, and then we'd have a guest. So it was me and Steve as rhythm section, and then we'd invite people to sit in.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
horn players, guitar players, a cello player, a guy that played a bicycle wheel. It's a bicycle wheel with pickups on the spokes. And
Oh, well,
bass.
that's Frank Zappa did that on
Really? Oh, okay.
back in the, I forget what show he was on when he was like a kid on one of these. I don't know if it was Ed Sullivan or somebody. That's
Ah, interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
If you look up Frank Zappa, you'll see him playing a bicycle wheel.
Okay. That's
But so
interesting.
go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, no, that's all right. So we did that for a while, playing in all these some dive bars in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
And, and after a while, I suggested to Steve, maybe we should try and instead of having guests all the time, let's make this more permanent and try and have more composition. So we got two guys who previously sat in with us, Dave Phelps,
Hmm.
guitar, and Chris Backus on saxophone. And Chris had played with the Buddy Rich big band. Right.
Oh, okay.
And then Steve and I started writing some stuff, compositions. So
Hmm.
we've done that one record that you mentioned.
Hmm.
It's actually time for another one if we can get around to it.
You guys going to play some more shows coming up? Uh,
Yes, we'd like to, but it's kind of a similar situation. Stone Tiger got this
hmm.
good band, but trying to get any traction with it is very, very difficult.
It's hard these days. I mean,
Yeah,
even with a legend like you, Percy, I mean, she should be able to get shows, but I don't think a lot of young people know much about uh, the type of music that I grew up with, enjoying your
yeah,
music, and they're just out of touch.
yeah. Well, music scene now is very different because
Yes, it is.
now when I show up gigs now it's packed. I walk in and sound guy's looking at me like, "Who's this?" He thinks I'm the band accountant or something.
That's a
Um, so yeah, it's difficult, but
I mean, in the people that I know that like music, I mention your name. It's like Percy Jones. It's like you were the forefront of of bass and fretless bass. So bringing up that, how do you get that sound? What do you use and what bass do you use? Amps, pedals? Maybe you could tell everybody about that.
Um,
briefly?
yeah, it's a difficult question to answer actually, because as I
Okay.
said, I'm not formally educated in music.
Well, that's okay.
When I studied engineering, electronic engineering, um, as, as far as music goes, I'm a sort of autodidact, I just
Hmm.
self-taught. So, like picking up a bass and learning how to play it, I just experimented and just tried to figure out some kind of technique that worked.
Right.
Using a certain amount of logic, like, if I that order of fingering, is that's what works best here. So a little bit of logical thinking,
Hmm.
um, and then some intuition as well. So
Is your basis made specifically for you, or is it just you buy
no, I
something?
mean, um, but I like a fairly high action.
Okay.
I like to play harmonics. Um, to get those to really sing, you can't have a very low action.
Right.
So, but like any bass that has a good response, I'm okay with it. I mean, I played wall basses. I still do because
Hmm.
I like the way they respond. I've got a couple of Ibanez 5 strings with chef just piezo pickups
Hmm.
that have a very kind of almost upright type sound.
So maybe it's a, and then what about pedals? Do you use different pedals or
I've
uh,
never ever used pedals per se because I tend to fall over when I
okay. So it's just you plug it into your amp and play.
yeah. Although back in the 70s, I built several of my own effects, um, and that was like before there was any digital stuff
Right.
or very little. So I built a voltage control filter, a flanger, ring modulator. So I used to use that stuff a lot back in the 70s.
Hmm.
And then I kind of went through a period where I just tried to get effects out of the bass itself, making strings buzz or rattle. Um,
Is
Make some
the way
sliding.
that fretless sound though, the way you play, I mean, you really get a lot of action on and sound through your bass. It's very unique.
Yeah, I think it's just down to doing a lot of experimenting and trying things out.
Hmm.
And then sometimes you'll have an accident. You
Hmm.
play something that you didn't intend to play, but it turns out,
Oh,
oh, that's
that's
cool. So
always the best when an accident
you
happens.
remember that and apply it in a way to make it musical rather than sounding like a screw up.
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
you've had a fantastic career. I mean, it's been, and then, so what's going to be coming up next? Are you going to be more archives with Brand X? Are you going to be working on some new music? What are you
well,
going to
Brand
be?
X is retired.
But I mean, as far as archive, maybe more a box set, maybe of Brand X unreleased live music, maybe.
Well, we've got this one live record that's
Right.
going to come out at some point. Um,
There's not many video. There's not much video from the
no.
70s of you guys. Very
Well, there were
rare.
no, yeah, there were no cell phones or cell phone cameras back then.
Right.
Um, the only video I've ever seen was from the BBC Old Grey Whistle test.
There was a
When
Top Gear. I saw a Top Gear show, I think, where you guys were playing on one of those on a TV show. I think might have been Top Gear from and Soda F. I think it was Phil was playing drums and he was
that might have
singing.
been the Old Grey Whistle test. Yeah,
That's what it was. Yep.
that's about it.
Isn't that something? That is, that's too bad, but
Yeah, I mean, one complication of re-releasing any of that stuff is that our old manager owns the publishing, so
Oh, okay.
and I don't have access to the masters.
Oh, that's tough.
I mean,
That's too bad.
the live recording that we have was actually came from Robin Lumley.
Oh,
Not
okay.
long before he died, he was going through his stuff and throwing stuff out that he felt he didn't need, and he had this two-track Ampex tape, and it was just live recording. He couldn't remember where he got it from, and we listened to it, and I thought, "Oh, this uh, Kenwood is on it actually, and
Hmm,
Morris." So it was sort of that rock and roll period. Listen to it. This actually sounds quite good.
hmm.
So I worked on it and spruced it up a bit. Um, but that's about all we have.
Ah, it's too bad.
There's a lot of sort of legal complications that come along with all that stuff.
See, that's the problem with the music business, you know? These these big record companies get a hold of this material and then they're publishing and then you can't do anything about it.
Right,
Or else they'll
right.
sue you.
Yeah,
You know, they'll
yeah,
come backstage again and hand,
yeah,
hand you another piece of paper. Hey, we're taking you off the stage.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
At least there
Ah,
were no handcuffs. Yeah.
right, right. That's true. So you're in Brooklyn now? Do you just go out and play music with people just to play, or do you just
Well, yeah. I mean, basically now it's MJ12 or
okay?
Pact. We have this band called Pact, which is all improvisation.
Oh, all right.
Um, it's me, Kenny Grohovsky. He
Hmm,
played drums in Brand X, the most recent version before we retired it. um, Alex Skolnick, uh, he plays in Testament, that metal band.
okay.
Yeah, Tim Motzer, it's four of us.
Hmm,
So just in July, we did some gigs around the Northeast and Canada, and then December we're working on some more gigs.
oh, I hope
Some,
to see you. I want to catch you guys in New York next time you play. I'll keep
it's
in
all it's
touch.
all improvised,
Oh, that's fine. I like improv music.
but I'm kind of steering it a little bit more to having a bit more composition.
Yeah. Well, you could if you balance it, you know, you have improv music and then you have actual songs you work on.
I mean, that's what happened with MJ12. That started out with the trio improvising and then ended up with five piece doing tunes. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
There's guys that do that their whole career. You know, John Zorn, Elliot
yeah,
Sharp, Fred Frith
yeah,
does a
right.
lot of that. So, but it's still good to have songs too. I mean, that's always good in your repertoire of music to do.
Well,
So,
doing improv is actually quite difficult because uh, it's very easy to get stuck.
mm,
You get in some mode or a groove and you can't get out of it. And of course, for anybody listening, that gets very tedious very quickly.
oh, I'm
So,
sure.
the trick with that is to keep turning corners, keep it going, keep it moving.
So you know this way you don't stop. You just keep moving and changing sequence or
Yeah, dynamics,
okay.
harmonic changes, and so on.
Well, you
Yeah,
have the right players. I don't think that's a problem.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
You definitely need the right guys who can do that. Yeah,
that's it. That's the key. If you don't have that, forget it. And that's a really an art. Improvisation's an art. That's not something I don't think you could teach anybody. And then you have students that don't know how to improv. They're brought up strictly with reading music and they don't learn how to do that.
yeah. I know.
I interviewed a woman, Martha Mook, who plays with Laurie Anderson and she said she does teaching, and some of these students have no idea how to improv. It's just they strictly buy what they read.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I've seen that. Yeah.
so that's what happens. So what do you think? Where are we going with music now with everything so much digitized? And do you think there's like modern music? How do you feel about uh, these days where that's headed?
Well, it's some of it for me has become kind of soulless.
Right, I agree.
It's it's a drum machine, it's synths, it's pre-programmed MIDI,
Mm.
auto tune,
Oh, that's
vocoded.
terrible.
Uh,
Ugh, I hate auto tune. Ugh,
and
but
it,
I but the
but
nature of
you first hear some of it, it's like quite impressive, and then but you very quickly tire of it because it's got no soul.
mm,
I mean, that's how I
well,
hear it.
it's music's categorized now with everything else. It's not like it was. I mean, you still have people that are serious about it listening, but then you have the general population that are so used to the cell phone, just, going to the next thing, next thing, next thing.
Yeah, and poor fidelity, stuff's
Yes.
compressed, no dynamic range.
No. Well, it's the
I mean,
nature we're living in.
one interesting thing now going out and doing gigs is almost all the venues we have to tell the sound guy turn the subwoofers down,
Hmm.
um, turn them down or turn them off because uh, they're so loud that the kick drum and the bass are indistinguishable.
Ugh.
Well, like if you're trying to do syncopated stuff with a kick
Yeah.
drum and bass are not always together. There's um, too many subwoofers just ruin it, or dynamics where
Yeah.
situations where you everybody's playing quieter and quieter to get the music to come down, and the sound man, while you're doing that, he's pushing it up,
Ugh.
so he's negating the
Yeah.
dynamics the band is trying to create. I mean, that's happened as well.
Well, that's the problem with these little bars and clubs, that they have a sound man there who clueless on really what sound should be, where everybody's heard and what are you going to do? Unfortunately, you're at the nature of these people.
Yeah, or something be feeding back, like
Do you
you
do you know have you heard of the bass player Mike Howlett? Do you know Mike Howlett from Gong?
yeah. I met him at
He
some point.
told me he told
Yeah,
me that Gong was the first band to actually hire a sound engineer to go on tour with them. And I could see how that made so much sense.
yeah.
You
Wish
know,
we had one.
yeah, right? I
If
mean,
you
that would it makes a
It's expense.
difference.
I mean, if you can afford,
Right.
it's your guy, you have to pay him, feed him, and
Exactly.
he's a hotel room. So yeah.
Right.
Wish we had one.
Yeah, you should have, because oh man, imagine the sound you would have had at some of those places. But the sound when I saw you guys at the Beacon that time was incredible.
Well, I think
Everything was great.
back then the tour manager, I think, used to mix the sound,
Okay.
or he would be there and he'd tell the guy, you know, you need more of this or that, give him some guidance. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I'm really upset about John Goodsall passing. I
Yeah,
mean, I think he's one of the most underrated guitarists in
yeah,
modern music. He
yeah.
never got, I don't think he ever got the recognition he should have gotten.
No, no, I agree.
What band was he in before Brand X?
Atomic Rooster, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
Rob Lumley also passed away.
Hmm. So it's just
Well,
you and Robin Lumley from the original
yeah,
band? Okay. Well, you got to keep putting out some of these rare records like the one you're going to have because you've got still people that love to hear this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
think,
yeah, I'll keep doing it. Yeah. I mean, it's a never-ending challenge. I mean, you're always, well, speaking for myself, I'm always trying to come up with new stuff. I mean, you never get to the point where you're satisfied with what you're doing. You're always trying to, you know,
but that's the
keep
mark of a
going.
great musician like yourself. You're always looking to push the boundaries.
Right, right.
And that makes a big difference.
Hmm. Right.
Well, Percy, this has been an honor. Thank you for doing this. You've been one of my
Okay, well, thanks
favorite
for,
musicians in a long time, and I thank you for your time and all the great music you've done.
well, thanks for,
And I want to thank you for doing this.
okay. Just to, it's a bit late to ask, but because I didn't check the camera, I just sort of plopped it on top of the
It's
monitor.
okay.
Is it facing the right direction? Does
It's
it look like?
okay. We
Okay.
hear the audio. It's fine. It's good. I mean, I'm
All
not.
right. Good.
This
Good.
isn't going on television or major broadcasts. It's just on right now YouTube
I
channel
got
that
in here a little late, and then I was
it's
messing,
fine.
trying to get the audio to.
I think people will be just happy to see you.
Okay.
I wouldn't
All right.
even worry
Good.
about that.
All right. Good.
Okay, Percy.
Good.
Well, it's
All right.
been an
Thanks.
honor. Thank
Thanks
you
very
again.
much. Okay.
Take care.
Cheers.